So tonight we are going to be talking about something very, very interesting. We've been hearing about these, we've been hearing about the eyes, we're hearing about things that have to do with it. But maybe this time around, we'll talk about certain things that are peculiar about these wonderful gifts from God. You see, I remember my humble self, Lucky, and I thank everyone for being here. So, we're talking about, basically, we're going to be talking about digital eye challenges. You know, eye health challenges and management. That's sequel to our topic, which is the deteriorating and damaging effects of phones and electronic gadgets on the human eye. Now, our table of contents will be about the human eye, the retina, macula, types of eye challenges, digital eye strain, macular degeneration. We can't talk about macular degeneration without talking about blue light and LED light. Sources of LED light, complication, prevention and management, and more. But there's a popular saying that the eyes are the windows to the soul. That means without vision, one is in total darkness. So the human eye is basically a sensory organ that is part of the sensory system that helps to translate visible light into visual information for seeing, keeping balance, and maintaining sleep cycle. I bet some of us didn't know that our eyes also help us to maintain sleep cycle. That's why when you travel to another country and you have a time difference, over time, as your eyes notice the period the sun sets, it readjusts our circadian rhythm or sleep cycle. So basically, light enters through the lens, this part here, and this part here, enters through the, passes through the lens and passes through the eye liquid or aqueous humor and lands somewhere at the back around here. And this is where the major topic of, this is the major area of concentration for today, as we will soon find out. Now, in that area, you're going to find the retina. It is the part of the eye that processes light and translates it into nerve impulses that enter the brain and interpret it as vision. That means as the light lands on these cells, they convert the signals they receive into electrical impulses that are translated in the brain into what we perceive as vision. So it contains special cells, and there's a highly sensitive part in the middle of this retina, and that area is called the macular region. You know, it's located around the center of the retina. So let's just briefly talk about the macula itself, because we're going to be talking, you know, we're going to be approaching our area of concentration, but we need to understand certain factors before we get to that area. So when we are there, we will understand why we have to talk about this other area. So the macula is a yellow. So where were we? We're talking about the macular region. Yes. So this particular region we're talking about, this macular region, is about 5.5 millimeters and responsible for clear resolution of vision, especially in bright light. Its yellow pigmentation helps it to absorb excess blue and ultraviolet light and acts as a natural sunblock. In short, how interesting is this? It acts like a sunshade over that sensitive area. That shows you how important it is for these pigments to protect that area, because it's very important for that high resolution vision that we normally observe. Now, be aware, take note of this excess blue light and ultraviolet light. because we're going to tell you how they affect vision and how they are connected to this digital age that we are in. So, now, the yellow color comes from what is called lutein and zeaxanthin. Please take note of these two wonderful molecules, and then you see how important they are in trying to help us prevent damage as a result of blue light. Now, lutein and zeaxanthin help protect the retina from macular damage, also known as macular degeneration. So briefly, we're going to talk about some common eye challenges that we know about. Myopia simply means nearsightedness. As you can see, this person has to go very, very, very close to this picture before the person can actually perceive what this picture is. And you see, in this case, the eyeball is too long, and then the light focuses in front of the retina. Remember, the retina is what interprets light at the back of the eye. So when the light forms in front of the retina, it makes it difficult to observe objects that are farther away. It's accompanied with some other issues. And fun fact, allowing children to play or spend more time outside reduces the risk of short-sightedness. Who knew about that? You see? So allow your children to play once in a while outside. Now, hypermetropia or hyperopia simply means farsightedness. It's just like the opposite, somehow the opposite of short-sightedness or near-sightedness. And now, in this case, the light focuses at the back of the retina. That means objects that are too near cannot be seen. That's why this young man here is actually taking his book farther away from him so that he can read what he has there. Who knew that babies are often born with farsightedness? And over time, through a process of emmetropiization, they begin to adjust back to normal vision. Now, cataracts actually decrease in vision as a result of cloudy area in the lens of the eye. These people that have cataracts, it's as if there's a cotton wool all over their eyes. Now, the symptoms are simply halos around light and so on. But bear in mind that factors that provoke or promote cataracts include diabetes, trauma to the eye, alcoholism, smoking, oxidative stress, or oxidative species, which can be worsened by smoking, of course, because smoking dumps free radicals into the system. Radiation, it's very ionizing radiation, like staring directly into the sun, can actually also provoke oxidative stress in the eyes, and what? Lack of vitamin C. So a lot of us just hear vitamin C all over, and we don't know that taking vitamin C is actually very important in preventing illnesses or diseases like cataract. Now, glaucoma simply means a group of eye diseases that lead to damage of the retina, often characterized by increased inner eye pressure. That is what we mean by intraocular pressure. That increase in pressure, as you can see, is exerting force all over the eyes and including the retina region over here. Eventually, this region, the optic nerve that is connected to this region, gets damaged, and hence the person gets poor vision or loses his vision, and is also known as glaucoma. That's just a summary of it, but that's not all of it. Now, astigmatism simply means a condition in which light from an object focuses on more than one point. So imagine you are looking at this an object, and it is focused on different points on the retina. That will definitely lead to double and or blurred vision. So digital strain is also known as computer vision syndrome. It's a group of issues associated with frequent, intense visual focusing, especially when people are concentrating on their phone so close to their face, like especially when they are watching Big Brother Nigeria and they are lost in their vision process and they're just there staring at, they're actually causing damage. And that could lead to digital eye strain. Now, these symptoms include dry eyes, eye pain, headaches, blurry vision, double vision, watery eyes, eye irritation, eye strain or stress, etc. Now, if these issues are left longer, they may lead to impaired vision. Now, blue light from digital screens lead to retinal damage and macular degeneration. As earlier said, when this blue light lands on the cells of the retina, they eventually lead to oxidative stress and some a cascade of reactions that begin to damage the macular area of the retina, hence affecting vision. Now, that process is simply called macular degeneration. Degeneration. The process of damage to the macular region of the retina, that's what it is. And it's also known as age-related macular degeneration. Sorry about that. And this means that it is actually affiliated to age. That means as people get older, they tend to have this process occur naturally. So whatever you can do to hinder this process will ensure that over a longer period of time in life, you have clear vision. And it occurs as one gets older and is characterized by blood or no vision in the center of visual field. And it may lead to what? Visual hallucinations. Now, this is what someone with normal eyes will perceive. Two young boys having fun, one is holding something I don't know, and the other holding a football. But when one is having issues with macular degeneration, this is what these handsome kids look like. You can see the center of the field of view is already gone as a result of the effect of the damage that has taken place on the macular region, which is located in the center of the retina. Bear in mind that smoking is a strong risk factor for macular degeneration. Smokers are going to most likely lose a good part of their vision, all things being equal, over time, in relation to people or as in comparison to people that do not smoke. There are other factors that include genetics, hypertension, high blood cholesterol, atherosclerosis or cholesterol blockage of blood vessels, especially in the area of the eye. Obesity is strongly attached and affiliated to macular degeneration. Of course, UV ray from the sun, and guess who? Or guess what? The king of diseases, or one of the king of diseases, the almighty diabetes, that is ever so dangerous and almost connected to any disease you can think of in the body, as well as free radicals. But of high consideration is the negative effect of LED or blue light on the macular or retina of the eye. And many common electronic devices emit LED light. In fact, some televisions are specially prized because they are LED televisions. That means staring too close and too long to this television are actually damaging the macular region of the eye and causing macular degeneration. Now, other risk factors help to worsen these negative effects of LED or blue light or macular degeneration. So bear in mind that there are some things that actually help to worsen this process, as aforementioned. Let's talk about blue light. We're hearing about blue light. What's blue light? Well, about a third of all visible light is blue light, and the sun is the major source, as well as LED light sources. Now, this blue light from phones and other digital sources may not be, they may seem as if they are not so serious, but how many of us stare at the sun for 3 hours? No, but because of the long duration of time that we stare on these phones, the impact of the blue light, though minimal or little, begin to actually have effects on the eyes. That means the time of exposure, frequency of exposure, and intensity of exposure also, because that's the young man over there, he's even very happy. That's Mr. Blue Light, that when you stare at him for too long, begins to damage the macular region of the eyes and may not allow people to view their grandchildren holding football and one other round object we don't know. Now, constant exposure to blue light can damage the retinal cells, especially the macula, leading to age-related macular degeneration or macular degeneration, or just simply macular degeneration. Now, it also promotes cataract and other eye conditions. Hello, I hope I'm not too fast. May I go on? If you feel I should go on, kindly send any emoji. So but if you feel you want me to go slower, you can actually say so, and I'll see what I can do. Now, LED lights, we've talked about blue lights, we've talked about where they come from, the sun and LED lights. So these are light emitting diodes. They are materials that once current passes through them, they emit light. And it's the blue light that is affiliated to these guys that actually affect people in the long run when they do not take care of their sight. Sources include TV, phones, laptops, rechargeable lamps, billboards, electric lights, etc. And these are the major sources of man-made light emissions. And guess what? They are everywhere. Everywhere you look at, you find them. So one has to be careful. There are complications of LED or blue lights on the human eye, as earlier mentioned, macular degeneration, and guess who? Alteration of sleep cycle. You can imagine someone trying to sleep at night, and your eyes have told your brain, Omo, it's sunset, or want to go to bed. And then you bring out your phone and you begin to watch a program or a movie, and you watch it around 1 a.m. That means you have told your brain that your eyes are not correct. That means stay awake. Doing this over and over again destroys one's sleep cycle and may lead to what? Insomnia. And having the phone too close to the face for too long begins to make the eyes lazy, in quotes, and that person begins to find it difficult to view far objects. And that can also lead to what? Nearsightedness in children. Hence, it's always advised that children are allowed to go and play outside. And of course, it can also cause digital eye strain. So, challenges in management of digital eye challenges. You see, poor health information is actually one of the major issues associated with digital eye challenges, because people do not know, and all they know is to just take their phone and view and view and view till infinity. But unfortunately, if they knew that this could actually be detrimental to their eyes, they would have actually done that appropriately. Now, poor health infrastructure, meaning that you can't even check yourself if you want to. Self-medication, sabinus.com, people want to, they know everything. You begin to notice some certain symptoms. Rather than rush down to the optometrist or ophthalmologist, you are there believing that you can take care of yourself, making the situation worse. Lack of adequate health practitioners. Well, JACPA.com, people are rushing out of Nigeria, and only God knows how many health practitioners are left. Economic challenges include KUDI, because some people don't even have the money to enter bus or transport to the hospital, top place of pay, hospital bill. Poor parental control. Some parents allow their children to watch TV till 2 a.m. in the morning, and then they prepare them for school around 6:30 a.m. that same morning, and they are wondering why they're telling their child, it's over there, check under the carton. Child is saying, where? It's in front of you. Where? Because the child is already beginning to have eye problem. Poor parental control is very, 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 very important. It's a very, very important topic that we should actually put in high consideration. Of course, poor dieting habits. Some children are fond of eating what they like. They dictate to their parents what they are going to eat. And oftentimes, these things are mostly laced with sweets, sugary things, and stuffs that will lead to high oxidative, a high amount of reactive oxidative species, and which are also detrimental to their health, to their eyes, causing obesity, and a lot of factors that lead to poor eyesight, especially when they grow older. And of course, sedentary lifestyle, lack of exercise. Lack of exercise does not allow your muscles to produce myokines, which protect your body one way or the other. Now, prevention and management of digital eye challenges. You see, you need to screen time management. That's just the opposite of what you are not supposed to do. Regular eye exam, proper diet. Of course, you need to take substances that contain lutein and zeaxanthin, which are what? The sunshade that protects the sensitive part of the retina and also help us to protect our vision. Now, appropriate sleep habits, of course, as aforementioned, drop that phone and go to bed. Now, parental control, yes, that follows what I just said. Now, then there's something called the 20-20-20 rule. Now, as you stare close for 20 minutes, you stare at an object at least 20 feet or 6 meters away for about 20 seconds. In that way, you do not allow your eyes to go lazy. Now, finally, use of supplements in the prevention and management of eye conditions. Well, there are other ways, apart from going, there are other ways that we can actually use to prevent the worsening of this situation, apart from the conventional ways we do, and I'll put more light on that shortly. Now, what are the importance of supplements in the management of digital eye challenges? One, they help attack free radicals. Remember, free radicals are so reactive that they attack DNA. Remember that DNA is the commander-in-chief and the CEO of everything about you, including your eyes. So if the DNA is affected, that means the eye, sections of the eyes may have difficulty regenerating or recuperating after strenuous activities or stress. Now, it helps us to regulate blood pressure. Remember, hypertension helps to worsen this situation. Help us in weight management. Obesity helps us to worsen this situation. Diabetes management, one of the kings of diseases, and in management of eye conditions. Yes, glaucoma actually damages that area, the eyes as well. They help us to regulate poor blood cholesterol, because if the cholesterol blocks the blood supply to that part of the eye, the macular region begins to die. Now, so they help us to, and generally they help us to arrest macular degeneration. Now, examples of these beautiful sources of these beautiful phytochemicals that we need to take care of our eyes include eye vision. Now, this digital age wonder for the eyes contains what? Lutein and zeaxanthin, aka the sunshade of our retina that protects us from the damaging effects of blue light from digital devices as well as other sources. Now, these are very important components of the macula. They also prevent what? Oxidative damage of free radicals that also destroy the DNA that have actually, if it were in good condition, help to facilitate repair of whatever has been damaged. So hindering repair and worsening the situation. Now, as their yellow color acts as natural sunglasses over the sensitive macular region of the retina in the eye, you can see that this sunglass effect is very awesome and very important, and that's why taking eye vision is something that everybody should try to make a habit. In addition, it contains beta carotenoids that prevent what? Night blindness. Imagine somebody going to check on his friend, and just before nightfall or the sun goes down, other people are seeing, but he has brought out a torch. People are wondering what's wrong with this guy. It's because he's having night blindness, cannot see very clearly in dim light, and that's one of the problems associated with not having enough carotenoids in their diet. Now, zinc, of course, for immunity. Vitamin C is an antioxidant that attacks free radicals that damage DNA of the retinal cells and protect against cataracts, and as well as vitamin E. Now, I want to tell you something wonderful about vitamin C. Do you know that the liquid of the eyes contain vitamin C? God put vitamin C there to act as a protector against free radicals or reactive species that damage sections of the eye. And guess one part of the eye that this vitamin C protects? That is the lens of the eye, and it protects it from issues like what? Cataract. So you can see that's why you're trying to solve one matter, and that one is being solved by the grace of God. Now, aloe gel, as I always say, this product, if you want to talk about this product, we'll not leave here today. It's a powerful adaptogen that contains antioxidants and carotenoids and serves it serves as an excellent source of antioxidants and vitamin A. Hence, protects the eyes from DNA damage. I'm talking about this Oyibo pepper over here called aloe beets and peaches. This guy has a lot of functions. It's actually similar to this other yellow guy over here, but it has extra components that help us to protect our eyes. And in fact, indeed, as I indicated here, its functions are numerous. You can get across to who invited you, and you'll get across to me if you want to know more about this topic. Now, absorbent C, like we said, who knew that there was vitamin C in the eye, placed by God to protect the eyes from damage? So imagine someone not having enough vitamin C in their diet. What do you think will happen? And you can see it's also indicated there for prevention and protection from issues like DNA damage and cataract formation. Now, there are others as well. There are other supplements as well, but these supplements are given in addition to manage complications that promote or worsen eye complications, especially due to macular degeneration. secondary to LED/blue light effect on the eyes. And these issues include hypertension, which can lead to damage in blood vessels to that area, poor nutrition, of course, when you don't have enough phytochemicals that could form the lutein and zeaxanthin, protection of the sunshade effect of the macular area, the pigment in the macular area, you find out that there's already a problem. Of course, obesity is directly linked to these issues. Diabetes, as I always say, one of the kings of diseases, is a terrible, terrible disease that affects everything and anything possible in the body in ways you cannot imagine. Glaucoma, which is a result of, often as a result of increased intraocular pressure in the eye. Of course, we know that when the liquid in the eye is formed, it has to drain out through what we call the trabecular measure. But if there's anything that hinders the flow of this liquid outward, it builds up in the eyes and causes a lot of pressure, exerts pressure on the retina and macular area, damages the optic fiber, and can lead to blindness. Cataracts, as earlier mentioned, as a result of substances crystallizing out of the liquid in the lens, forming cloudiness that obstruct vision and can even hinder facial recognition, amongst others. DNA damage, of course, DNA is the managing director, MD, CEO, and everything about us. And of course, anything that damages DNA damages the complete organism. So, oh, and of course, aging. Now, remember, you are what you consume, and there's a constant battle between factors that repair and protect our bodies and those that break it down. Be on the winning side. Thanks for coming and remain blessed.